Hello everybody and welcome back to another video here on a New England Sports Nation YouTube channel here on YouTube. I just watched the greatest Game 1 I have ever seen in the NBA playoffs in my lifetime. I can't believe what I just watched. I can't believe what I watched. What did I watch? It was so crazy that I'm making a video on it. Because this has nothing to do with the Celtics. Because the Celtics are eliminated, obviously. And before I get any further, Knicks fans watching this, I want to make this very clear. This is not a video where I'm going to be like, haha, you lost this game, you blew the lead. No, this is not. Trust me, this is not that. Totally not that. I am making this video because, for one point and one point only, is that because that was the... And I'm a Celtics fan, so I'm not going for either teams in this Eastern Conference Finals. Pacers next. I don't care who wins. I'm not going to go for the Pacers because the Knicks beat the Celtics. I'm not like that, okay? I'm not like that. I don't care who wins this series. I'm making this video because that was the greatest Game 1 I've ever seen in my life. It was so crazy that it was that crazy that I got to make a video on it because it was that crazy. That's why I'm making this video. So I want to make that point very clear. I do feel bad for Knicks fans. Everything that I'm saying is complete honesty from me. I feel terrible. I'm not laughing at any Knicks fans. I know people that I've known for several years that are Knicks fans because I'm from New York, as some of you might know. And I'm not even talking to them tonight. I'm not even going to talk to them tonight. I'm not going to say a word. I'm just not going to do that. I'm not that type of fan. So, the reason why I'm making this video is because, in my opinion, that was the greatest Game 1 I think you guys will probably ever see. And I'll explain why. First of all, in the first 3 quarters of this game, it was close the entire game. It was back and forth. So, in the back of your mind, you're like, this is probably going to come down to the last shot or something. Brunson gets 5 fouls in the second half. And he never got fouled out. He gets 5 fouls. He stays in the game for longer than I thought he would. And then he goes to the bench. And then the Knicks go on this 17-6 run in the fourth quarter. And they're up by like... I don't know the exact number, but I think it was 18 at most. I think the Knicks were up 18 with like 7 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. And then after that run, everyone on the Indiana Pacers just went full-on Curry mode. Full-on Curry mode. Something I have never seen in my life. Everyone on the Indiana Pacers, especially... his last name is Nembhard. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. I'm pretty sure I am. He was making the most ridiculous threes. He made like 4 threes in a row that Curry would make. And you would only think Curry could make it in his prime. Those are the shots he was making. And I'm pretty sure you guys watching this watch the game, I'm guessing. I don't know. If you haven't, you got to look at the highlights. It is the most insane thing you'll ever see. And that was only Game 1. That was only Game 1. What's going to happen in Game 2? What's going to happen for the rest of this series? I know most of the time every game is different. I can't say that as a Celtics fan because you already know how the first 2 games went with the Celtics and the Knicks. But I'll say this. In my opinion, and I'm not just saying this because I'm a Celtics fan, and this happened to the Knicks now, that choke by the Knicks was way worse than the first 2 Celtics choke. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself because... the 2 Celtics choke were the reason why the Celtics are not in the playoffs anymore. So we'll see what happens later into this series. Because if the Knicks do end up winning this series, then I would take that back because it would be the Knicks moving on and the Celtics are over here still eliminated. But the only reason why I'm saying that Knicks choke was worse than the 2 Celtics chokes right now is because the Knicks did that with less time to go in the game. Because the Celtics started to choke their 20-point leads in the third quarter. They started doing it with 7 minutes left to go of the game. In the fourth quarter. The other team, aka the Pacers in this situation, had only 7 minutes. They had twice as less time than the Knicks did against the Celtics in the first 2 games of the second round, the Eastern Conference semifinals. And the Pacers still end up coming back and winning. That is why I say that was a lot worse. And obviously, we're not going to know how it impacts the series yet, because this is only game 1. But that was the most insane game. And then let's talk about the Halliburton shot at the final buzzer. What kind of luck? Watch the shot. He kind of loses the ball a little bit around the free throw line with 2 seconds left, and then he decides, okay, I'm going to go for the 3 for the win, because at this point, the Knicks, it's 125 to 123. The Knicks are winning by 2 with like 2 seconds left. Halliburton looks like he's going to shoot the 2 to tie it, and then he kind of loses it a little bit. And then he decides to, okay, I'm going to go for the win. So he goes to the 3. He turns his body 180, throws it up with a second left. It bounces off the back rim, the ball goes 20 feet into the air, comes back down perfectly, lands in the bucket or the basket. And the game was tied. Everyone thought it was a 3 because everyone on the Pacers stormed the court. But if you look at the replay, I mean, Halliburton's foot was like this on the line. So it was a 2. It was the right call. It was a 2. So then it's 125 to, I think it was 125 going into overtime. And then the Pacers ended up winning in overtime by 3, 138 to 135. The most insane game 1 I will ever see in my life. Nothing's going to beat that. What could possibly beat that? Nothing. I'm excited to see what's going to happen in game 2. That was ridiculous. And I can't even guess the Knicks' emotions right now, because talk about a team winning 4 games to 2 off the reigning champions, aka the Boston Celtics. Let's go Celtics. And then that just happened. At home. They were in New York. I didn't mention that yet. They were at MSG. They did what the Boston Celtics did, but worse. Like I said, I might take that back if they end up winning this series. But the Pacers had twice as less amount of time to come back by like 20, 18 points or something, whatever it was. Because it was around 20. They had 7 minutes left. And the Celtics did it, they started to do it in the third quarter both games. So, and that like I said, that's the only reason I say that is worse. And honestly, if you're a Knicks fan, actually anyone would say this, it doesn't matter what's worse, the Celtics or the Knicks choke, because the Knicks still lost. There's no excuse for that. Like, when the Celtics did this, I said this. I said there is no excuse to blow a lead like that at home. There's not. What could possibly be the excuse? Speechless. I'm speechless about this game. I never usually do videos on other teams that don't include Boston sports, because this is called New England Sports Nation. But this was so worth it to do a video, because of what happened in that game. The craziest game, 1, I have and I will probably ever see in my life. Just saying. By a mile. I can't even remember something close to that. Maybe in any game in the playoffs that I've seen in my lifetime. Not just game 1. Halliburton dropped like 31 points. Halliburton didn't even shoot that well from the 3-point line. He was like 4 for 12, I think I saw it. Brunson dropped 40. I mean, this is insane. Both teams almost had 140 points in this game. That is insane. I cannot wait for game 2. dude, after watching that game, I feel like the Celtics are still in the playoffs, and they're playing so good that I just want to keep watching them. That's what I feel like going into Game 2, because of how that game was. And again, it's not because the Knicks lost and because the Celtics lost to the Knicks. It's just because the game in general ended up like that. That was insane. Like I said, like the title says, I witnessed the biggest New York sports choke, something like that, ever. And any New York fans, is there something worse than that? Because in my opinion, I don't think there is. The first thing that comes to my mind that could be remotely close, I don't even know if you guys agree with me, then maybe the Aaron Judge drop in center field in the World Series. But the Dodgers were already up 3-1 when that happened. So I don't know if I'd call that a choke. Because the Yankees already had to win 3 in a row last year in the World Series. So I don't know if you want to call it. I mean, you could call it a choke because that's how the Dodgers scored like 5 runs to win the World Series that game. But like I said, the Dodgers were up 3-1, and the Dodgers are the best team in the league, in my opinion. So I don't know if you call that a choke, but I don't see anything else beating that. I just don't. And all I can say is we'll see what happens in Game 2. Because if the Knicks can come out and win Game 2, they can say, okay, let's forget about Game 1, series tied 1-1, going to Indiana for 2 games, and we'll get the job done there. That's what I'm guessing the Knicks would say if they win on Friday in Game 2. And if the Pacers steal another one, they go up 2-0, then they're in control of the series going back to Indiana. So that's what's at stake for that's what's at stake for both teams at Game 2. I don't know if I'm going to have another video on this Eastern Conference Finals. The only reason why I'm making this video because of what just happened in that game. That is ridiculous. I still can't believe Halliburton's shot hit the back of the rim and it bounced in like that. That is not supposed to happen. When the ball bounces off the back rim, that's never supposed to happen. Ever. And it did. Well, I don't even want to get into how Knicks fans' emotions are. Coming off, the Celtics series win, the former NBA champions, and then this happens. I don't even know. I'm not even going to get into that. I'm just going to be neutral about this, enjoy that was the best playoff basketball game I've ever seen in my life, and hopefully it happens in Game 2 because that was so awesome to watch. So that's it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. I'm still planning on making a video of the collapse of the Cleveland Cavaliers and Washington Capitals. That's probably going to be another video of... I don't even know what happened. I mean, that's for its own video. I thought the Cavaliers and Capitals were going to make it to the finals, and they got eliminated in the same round as the Celtics. So everyone had Celtics, Cavaliers, and Eastern Conference Finals, and here we are with none of them. And then we get that Game 1. So anything can happen. That's what they always say, and that's always true. So yeah, I don't know when that video is going to come out. I haven't planned a day on recording that because, I mean, I haven't done baseball videos in a while. It's been, it was sunny the last couple of days. It was pretty warm. I just got lazy a little bit, and I was doing, what was the last video? The other kind of videos I was doing. Oh, yeah, because I was doing the Celtics series, because I was doing a video after every game. And it's supposed to be raining. It was only 48 degrees today in May in New England. That's 25 degrees below average. So, and it was raining, so that's probably the worst conditions you can ask for in late spring. So, and it's going to be like that for the next couple of days. But I heard next week we'll be back into the mid-70s and sunny. So once that happens, we'll definitely get back into baseball videos, king of the batting stances, and yeah. So I don't know when I'm going to make the Cavaliers and Capitals videos, or I shouldn't say videos because it's only going to be one video, so video, I should say. It will be out soon. I don't know when yet. I'm not going to promise a day because I don't know when I'm recording it. So, anyways, thank you guys for watching. I'm going to head to bed because it's midnight right now because that Pacers game lasted so long. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time. And I can't wait to see what happens in Game 2 of the Eastern Conference Finals between the Pacers and Knicks. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out, everybody.